This wrestler sucks and that wrestler sucks, this moment sucks, this pay-per-view sucks, this match freaking sucks. These are the kind of hot takes that could put two wrestling fans in a steel cage death match. I'm a wrestling fan and the opinion I don't agree with is invalid. I saw this Reddit post, what's a wrestling opinion of yours that will have you like this? Right back likey very much. Today we're doing wrestling hot takes and people, is it hot in here? Or am I watching a video of Rikishi doing a sting face? Both, I need to turn off my heater. I enjoyed the main event of WrestleMania 27. I'm a huge Miz fan and hated Cena with a passion. Miz walking in and out with the title made me a very happy boy. I never judge wrestling fans' opinions like that. You know, if you like The Miz, perhaps he's even your favorite wrestler, who am I to tell you can't enjoy this moment? When I was watching this at a time, I didn't understand wrestling as much. Looking back now, obviously there's a problem of The Miz third-wheeling a WrestleMania main event when there's two people in it. It was all about The Rock, the interference, could work really well on a regular pay-per-view, would be a great moment, not WrestleMania main event. And anyway, you know, I'm happy The Miz got his moment, he main evented Mania, how much he appreciates it, finished the match with a concussion. Gotta respect the man. Comedy is wonderful in wrestling, and the chances are at least one of your favorite wrestlers is incredibly funny. So this is something I must agree with. The problem is, it's rarely funny, right? I'm a huge comedy guy. I watch comedy podcasts, stand-ups, movies, everything to do with comedy. Even this channel is not built on my knowledge of professional wrestling. It's built on me trying to make people laugh with wrestling. Not me actually wrestling. That would certainly make you laugh. I'm very unathletic. The funniest moments in pro wrestling to me are things like these. Randy Orton saying, Minecraft's for kids. I play Elden Ring. You know, shit like this basically, where it's almost unintentional. Anyway, R-Truth is also a great example, but a lot of times the intentional comedy was, you know. Especially like the gimmicks. It's a dancing dinosaur laugh. Jimmy is the more entertaining of the Usos to watch. Maybe I've been brainwashed by the IWC, but I can already think about, you know, you telling me that Jimmy Uso is the actual better wrestler, which I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what the IWC keep telling us, right? All I say is, Big Jim is growing on me. You know, he's really good. Brock Lesnar is the best overall seller. He doesn't oversell but makes us feel it. He doesn't undersell and still makes it believable. He is perfectly in the middle. You know what? I gotta agree. I think it's between Brock Lesnar and Shawn Michaels. Ziggler was very fun, one of my favorite sellers. Sometimes it does lack realism though, and it didn't work out in his favor because he was so good at selling, he was put in a position to put over other talent. Matches against AJ and Daniel Bryan are perfect examples. I don't know how to necessarily explain it, but he tells a really good story in the ring. The crowd is going nuts, Brock Lesnar is barely standing up, all sweaty, which is not necessarily part of acting. He's probably tired as shit. But even his movements are like different from a regular professional wrestler. That is a wonderful point. Pepsi Phil is overrated and kinda whiny. I can't stand CM Punk. He seems a terrible person. His promos feel like they're ripped straight out of the ICC's top comments every week, and his ring style is slow and plodding. Oh my god, obviously everybody's entitled to their own opinion. God, I hate this. I hate this idea that a good match is only the fast-paced match full of flips and flops, and I hate this idea so much. Both can be good. Not trying to talk shit about that. I think CM Punk is literally one of the best wrestlers in the world. In ring too. He tells his story in the ring. He understands the psychology of pro wrestling. I'm not some wrestling guru. I never wrestled, never will, but even I can see how great this man is in that ring. Especially lately, he's putting on bangers after bangers, but you know what? Thank you, that is gonna be the video title. Starts as one of the most overhated characters in WWE, Cody really gave it his all, and that was kind of the problem. It's not like people said Cody didn't make it work, he was too good at it, so good, WWE didn't give his name back. He was stuck as Stardust because he was doing such a great job, and the problem is not necessarily people saying Cody didn't make it work, the problem is we knew he's capable of more, he should be in a bigger position. And we were right. Look at him now. I always liked one-punch finishers like Big Show's KO punch. It's weird because to me it's also a bit of a guilty pleasure, like especially doing that in video games or something about it. You know, there's something about it. It does make a lot of sense because you would use that finisher all the time, start a match, try to punch the guy in the face. In some ways, I can definitely see your point. Penta is just okay. He's not bad, he's fine. I'm just not invested at all. It will take time. I'm almost feeling the same way. I do think he's great, but it will take time for me to actually care about his character in the WWE, which is pretty, you know, normal. It takes time. One problem I do have with Penta, maybe it's not even a problem, but basically I see a lot of AEW in his matches and I don't know how to explain it. Not in English language anyway. Obviously wrestling is choreographed, I understand, but with his matches, it's very obvious sometimes. It's very obvious when he's waiting for his opponent to do something. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Ric Flair is overrated. To avoid confusion, what I mean by that is I don't like him. I think he's a scumbag human being, to be honest. I always risk getting in trouble by saying stuff like this, but can we just acknowledge that someone is a piece of shit? And be real. Let's be real. Let's not be fake and say that everybody was a bad wrestler just because they're shitty-ass human beings. Can somebody just be an asshole and also great at what they did? Can we just say that? Like, at this point, like, you gotta be nuts to say that Ric Flair wasn't that great. Even Hulk Hogan. We know what kind of human being he is. But can we also agree with the fact that he was responsible for so many wrestling booms? Like, come on. Come on. Attitude Era doesn't hold up. I don't necessarily agree. Let me explain. Obviously didn't grow up watching the Attitude Era. I grew up watching the Ruthless Aggression and the PG Era. When people are saying we want the Attitude Era back, I at least don't think people are screaming for titties and boobies and chopping peepees, whatever they said back in the day. There was literally a segment like that. Giving birth to hands. Which is possible. That was realistic. What people miss are the crazy storylines, edgy content, and most importantly, in my opinion, characters like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Mick Foley. I think people just miss the wild times. AJ Styles' heel theme was better than his first WWE theme, the one that just came back. It wasn't that bad. I hated the intro. You know, you don't want none. You don't have to do this shit. It's so basic. You know, it's so basic. I hate that. And every single WWE song has that right now. It wasn't as bad as people are saying, but you always go wrong when you introduce a new song that's worse than the previous one. Logan Paul is an all-time piece of shit human being, but is by far the best non-wrestling celebrity wrestler ever. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I dislike Logan Paul probably more than you do. But a fact is a fact. Big Show is a great wrestler. I think one of the most overhated wrestlers in the WWE, mostly because he was in rivalries where he had no business in being. I think he's probably the best giant. You can't even compare him to The Undertaker or Kane. Like, Big Show was his own thing, you know? And he was putting on bangers. My favorite Big Show match is against Sheamus for the World Championship. I think I was a teenager back then and still, you know, rooting for my favorite guys, but even back then I was like, well, that was actually pretty good. Brock ending the Undertaker streak is one of the greatest moments in wrestling of all time. Whether you agree with that decision or not, it's hard to argue. You know, it's really hard to argue. One of my most rewatched moments in professional wrestling history. It's like the time stopped. Forget about the booking decision. The moment is one of a kind. Chris Benoit should be in the WWE Hall of Fame despite what he did. We're not talking about someone who was an asshole. We're talking about someone who killed people. Like, Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. And you want people introducing him, talking about how great of a guy he was. You can't read that name without thinking about what he did. Was he a great wrestler? Absolutely. Can you say he was a great wrestler? Absolutely. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Why would anybody want that? Why would wrestlers want that? Why would the company want that? Why would the fans want that? You know what, people? I don't think it's gonna get any harder than that. Thank you for watching this video, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.